Can you do this? As early as your 40s, you may lose muscle and strength. Protein supports muscle health. Ensure Max Protein has 30 grams of high-quality protein to feed your muscles up to 7 hours. So take the challenge. Ensure.
The body of a missing policeman, Sylvester Reid, was found in Parnassus, Yorktown in Clarendon. TVJ News understands that a male suspect who'd been in custody in relation to the man's disappearance led investigators to location. The decomposing body with what appeared to be burnt marks was discovered in bushes sometime after midnight. Police sources say the suspect admitted to taking the body to the location after they had a domestic dispute which led to his death. Mr. Sylvester was reported missing on April 15. His vehicle was found last week in Old Harbour, St. Catherine. The police are now awaiting the results of a post-mortem that determine the cause of the death. The government is pressing ahead to get more solar power into the energy mix used to supply NWC stations. Portfolio Minister Matthew Samuda said the war in the Middle East is a reminder to pivot. And as you will also hear in this report, the minister also feels the new beach access policy will strike the balance between tourism and local beach access. The details in this report.
The National Water Commission, NWC, is the JPS's largest customer. In 1 month, for instance, the NWC racked up a $1 billion energy bill. It is a figure that is unsustainable at the best of times. But with the uncertainty in oil supply due to the war, changes are needed. It's why the NWC is pressing ahead with its renewable energy supply plans.
The NWC has advanced its energy management strategy through the completion of several projects, but one I will highlight is the Forest Hills Solar Photovoltaic project valued at $81.5 million, which already in its first year has provided savings of $14.1 million. Mr. Speaker, the energy efficiency projects are on a table being presented for colleagues here, but just in summary, the 13 projects highlighted will be executed at a cost of $885 million, but expect to bring annual savings of $322 million to the National Water Commission.
Additionally, 99% of the NWC's sites, which took a hit during Hurricane Melissa, are now operational again. The Water and Environment Minister was making his presentation Tuesday during the sectoral debate, where he also addressed concerns about the government's recent beach access policy. He believes the new policy addresses the concerns members of the public have.
Though the Beach Control Act still governs, this policy has embedded access into planning law mechanisms, has converted policy goals into administrative requirements, and forced alignment between tourism development and public rights. Madam Speaker, this policy has guaranteed windows and corridors to the sea, while clearly stating where Jamaicans have access to the foreshore. Beyond that, the commitment has been made in this House to ensure investment is made in the development of new public beach parks.
Now, his assurance, though, may not convince all stakeholders, given the policy was in effect weeks ago when beachgoers had problems accessing the 7 Mile Beach. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Founder of Jamaica Homes, Dean Jones, says only about 20% of homes in Jamaica are insured, and most of those are still underinsured. He estimates this is about 180,000 insured properties out of approximately 900,000 households nationwide. Jones adds that of the insured homes, as many as 95% are underinsured, meaning the coverage would not be enough to fully replace properties at current market values. He warns that fully insured homes remain rare in Jamaica, leaving the vast majority of homeowners unable to rebuild in the aftermath of a natural disaster. Further afield, a trade group representing smaller U.S. airlines is asking the government for billions of dollars to help offset surging fuel prices. The Association of Value Airlines, which includes carriers like Spirit, Frontier, Allegiant, and Breeze is seeking $2.5 billion in federal assistance. The group says rising jet fuel costs, driven in part by the war with Iran, are hitting discount airlines hardest because they can't easily raise fares on price-sensitive travelers. Supporters argue the aid could help keep ticket prices lower across the industry. But critics, including major airline executives, say bailouts aren't justified, noting larger carriers remain profitable and are already passing higher costs on to passengers. For the Business Minute, I'm Aliyah Bryant.
Thank you, Aliyah. And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's health report.
In this evening's health report, we look at diarrhea.
Diarrhea can be fatal. In fact, it is one of the leading causes of death in the pediatric age group, and it is far more common and far more likely to result in death in persons who are malnourished or who have other comorbid conditions. But it's relatively easily treated. Whatever is required is easily accessible. And with the appropriate intervention, we really should not. It's entirely preventable and readily treatable.
That's the health report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. Wash hands regularly with soap and water. Drink clean, safe water. Eat properly cooked and stored food. And avoid unsafe or contaminated food and drinks.
Time now for the top stories from around the world.
In the region, Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana have joined the United States and others in raising concern over what they describe as China's economic pressure and actions affecting Panama-flagged vessels. In a joint statement, the countries say they are closely monitoring developments and warn against any attempts to undermine Panama's sovereignty. They stress that Panama remains critical to global trade and must be free from external influence. The concern comes amid rising tensions over China's role in port operation. And on the international scene, President Donald Trump's budget office is urging House Republicans to partially reopen the Department of Homeland Security. According to a person familiar with the matter, a memo detailing the request was sent to Capitol Hill Tuesday evening. It urges the House GOP to accept a compromise measure from the Senate, even though it doesn't include funding for ICE or Border Patrol. The measure would ensure that DHS workers don't lose their paychecks amid concern the agency is just days away from running out of money. DHS workers already missed several paychecks earlier in the funding standoff, causing a massive disruption to TSA operations at airports. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aliyah Bryant.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear what FIFA has to say in the Midday Sports Report.
Can you do this? As early as your 40s, you may lose muscle and strength. Protein supports muscle health. Ensure Max Protein has 30 grams of high-quality protein to feed your muscles up to 7 hours. So take the challenge. Ensure.